Hello, Gypsy Spirit here with you, and we are back to doing some tarot learning, learning how to read tarot, working with the numbers 5 and 6 in the deck, and how to read them when they're in reverse. Now, 5 is all about opportunity, as we remember. Um, Opportunity, whether you miss it or you grab it, but it's looking at things that you may have missed. Um, and again, swords, as we remember, as conflict. So when we see the 5 of Swords upright like this, remember, it's like you got to there's conflict and you're determined. You're going to win. You're going to get the last word. But when you see it in reverse like this, it tells me that the person that I'm reading for, um, maybe they thought that they wanted to get the last word, and of course we get that when we get real angry. But this person is mature enough to realize that they don't necessarily have to have the last word, that karma will catch up, and they realize that. And so they've matured enough to just kind of sit back and wait and see what opportunity arises for them out of this conflict, because there will be some sort of opportunity that will be in the what's best for them. Everything, no matter what happens, works out for everybody's own good in the end. So when I see this card in reverse, she is not feeling like she needs to take revenge or say anything spiteful or get that last word in. She's sitting back and she's saying, all right, have at it. Karma will find its way to, and karma will work its way out to those that deserve bad karma. And she's taken the highway. She's taken the high road. So that's what that means when it's in reverse. So you see, a lot of times when you see a reverse card, it doesn't necessarily mean something bad. It does, however, often mean the reverse of what it would mean upright. But again, as we've seen in the last episode or the last teaching with the 3 and the 4, that it also depends on the reading that you're doing, who you're reading for, the situation, and you have to be the reader and read what comes to mind. I will emphasize also, like, every time you get a deck of cards, it's going to come with with a book. Usually, although I've had gotten cards where it didn't have a book with it, but usually a deck of cards has a little book, and it will tell you what the meaning of each card is. It is good to read the book because the author or the person that designed the cards has something in mind with each card, even though the card has we all know the original meaning, but the person that actually created the particular deck you may have, they have something extra to add to it. So it is good to read the book. But I've read in several books towards the end, they would say, you don't necessarily have to stick by the rules. Of course, know what the cards mean by the numbers, but use your intuition. That is I can't emphasize that enough. Just whatever comes to you, just go with it. In doing classes, what I've seen with my students is, I tell them, towards the end of the class, we would do a little reading for each other, like maybe a 1-card draw, and they would get so nervous because they're so concentrating on what that card means, and they go back and look it up. Don't do that. Look at the card and read the card the way you see it. So a lot of times when I'm doing a reading and I get a reverse card, I have to turn the card upright to look at it. I mean, yes, it happens to me too. I have to look at the card upright for a moment and and wrap my brain around it, and then when I turn it in reverse, then I'm able to get a clearer picture of what is going on and what I need to say. But again, always go with your intuition. We have the Five of Wands is the next card. Now, the Five of Wands upright, remember, it's like there's a lot of tension with work. There's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of bickering back and forth. People, especially at work, you know, some people may want to do something one way, other people want to do things a different way. Kind of think of like a political party, the Democrats and the Republicans, you know, bickering back and forth. And in this case, it's like the recipient or the person that you're reading for, when I see this card, it's like they feel like they're not getting a word in, that they're being overshadowed, they're not being heard, they're missing the opportunity of being heard, and they don't know what to say, or they do have something to say, but they don't know how to present it because everybody else is so loud, or they just feel like they're not being heard. I see this a lot of times, this card. A lot of times it comes up like if there is a family and some sort of a legal battle. I've seen this card come up a lot in that. It could be, like I said, in something work related as well, but it could also involve family. But when this is in reverse like this, it's telling me that the person no longer feels that they can't get a word in. They have worked around it, and they have figured out a way to make themselves be heard. That maybe they didn't do it the way everybody else was doing it. Maybe they had to be silent for a little while, but they figured it out. They figured out how to voice, how to get their voice heard or say what they wanted to say. It could have been done through actions, it could have been done through speaking, but whatever the case may be, they no longer feel that way, and they are now being heard and understood. And so that's a good thing. So they're getting that opportunity of being heard. The Five of Cups, again, I love this card because as I say, with the Five of Cups and it's upright, it's like these cups here, it's like emotional healing. You know, we talked about that. Cups, water, healing, emotions. And it's like somebody again playing the victim. You see, she's crying over spilled milk. She wants to focus just on that, on whatever the situation is. She just wants to focus on the shit. But there's other things here that she's completely missing. You know, this card is saying stop focusing on the spilled milk or the bad. There's other stuff that's really good and can help you, and it's there for you. Focus on that. She's completely missing the opportunity here. So when we see this card in reverse, she finally gets it. She finally lets go and stops focusing so much on the bad that's not going to help her heal. She starts taking in. This is a card indicating that finally she's getting it. And she's finally taking that opportunity to heal whatever is in front of her, to use it and heal from it, and not continue to focus on the bad. Like I said, a lot of things that happen to us, um, there's always something good in it. You know, there's always a good outcome, no matter what we do or how bad it is. Something always good is on the other side. And when I see this card in reverse, it's like she finally is beginning to realize that. She is finally letting go of all the thoughts and the stinking thinking that she's held on to for a long time, and now she's beginning to see that whatever it was that happened had to happen so these good things could come out of it. So we have the Five of Pentacles. Again, money. So in the card here, we see, I guess he's a judge. But anyway, he's trying to lead her to a place where she's going to have some financial freedom, and she's resisting it. She doesn't want to go there. So when I see the Five of Pentacles, it's an opportunity. There is some sort of financial opportunity, and when I see it like this, it's like they're not getting it because they're hanging on to the negative. But then when you see it in reverse like this, it's like she's letting go. They're letting go of whatever fears they may have. And they're just going with it. They're open to the opportunity. So this is a good card in reverse as well. I paused for a moment because I said earlier in some other of the videos that I own a vintage clothing store, and I'm very aggressive when it comes to marketing. As long as I love to market and do things without marketing through newspapers and, you know, like doing your typical advertising. You have to be creative, especially if you're in small business. You have to be very creative in your own marketing. So anyway, I had a vintage clothing store, and I was always doing stuff to market my business. And I had a neighbor who was also a friend of mine, and I had talked her into opening up her own store. She was my business neighbor, and she made soaps, and beautiful soaps and body lotions, and she just did beautiful work. And so she opened up a store next door to me, and she just, it was a bomb. I mean, she failed miserably. And we had another friend who was also in business for herself, and she was very successful as well. So we would always give this girl ideas, and we would try to help her to be creative, and we would give her ideas of things that she could do. And for some reason, she always came up with a reason why she couldn't do it. And so that's why when I saw the Five of Pentacles, I was thinking of the Five of Pentacles, I thought of this woman who, her business failed because there were so many opportunities for her to take. And here, it's like me and the other girl, we're like the judge here, whoever this person is, trying to push her, like, yeah, do this, do this, do this. And she's like, everything, there was a reason why she couldn't do it. And there was just a lot of fear. And so when you see this card in reverse, it tells me that whatever was holding this person back from moving towards the opportunity for them to make money or to create something wonderful, whatever it was that was holding them back, with it being in reverse, there could have been some fear or some procrastination of some kind, but it's over. They're over it, and they're ready to move forward. They're ready to make things happen. So that's what that card means. So let's go on to the sixes. Again, if y'all have any questions, need help with anything, please don't hesitate to call me. Texting me really is best because I don't answer my phone. If you ever call me, you have to leave a message. And the reason is because I get so many telemarketers that I just don't even answer the phone anymore. So with the 6, the 6 is about like you after the missed opportunities and you're moving on. You're having a little bit of victory in some things. You've healed on some level, and by that healing, you're able to move forward a little bit. We're still, from the stages of the Ace through the 10, you're in different stages. And then once we get to the 10 is like the ending of whatever it is that's going on. So just think of it as being in different stages. So the 6 now is like they have let go of whatever it was that they were missing, and they grabbed the opportunities that they needed. They've grown. So now the 6 of Cups, again, Cups, emotions. And remember, when we saw it this way, there was some nostalgic stuff or some memories or whatever it was that they needed to see, maybe something that happened to them in their past, that maybe they didn't get the lesson at that time, but now that they've grown and they're at where they're at, they can look back and get the lesson, understand like why that happened like 10 years ago or whatever, and see where they're at today in their life, and how whatever it was that happened 10 years ago, they didn't get it then, they get it now, and they've learned and become wiser from it. So when you see this in reverse, guess what? They're not getting it. They're hanging on to a memory, yes. They're hanging on to something that happened to them maybe 10 years ago, whatever. And there's a reason why the memory is coming back to them, because the universe is trying to help them heal from the situation they're in now. It has a reflection on what happened 10 years ago or whatever, but they're not getting it. They're not understanding. So they need to maybe sometimes go back to the drawing board and figure it out. When we see the 6 of Pentacles, let me say this. Let's go back to this 6 of Cups, because there's a lot there. It may be like we have experiences and events in our lives that seem to happen over and I mean, it's like the same thing, different scenario, but really the same thing that happens over and over again. And over time, it's like peeling back layers, and we're not really ready to evolve until we really figure it out. So the event has to keep happening over and over. And I was thinking of something in my readings. When I do readings, I relate a lot of my own personal life to what I'm reading to the person, because we're all connected, and we all share a lot of the same sort of things. We're human, we feel, we have events happen, we hurt, and so the way that I connect with other people is I go back and remember some of the things that I've had to go through and what I've healed from in order to help my client. So, but in seeing this actually made me think of something. that I'll share with you because it kept happening over and over and over. But there was a guy that he was the one that got away back in the 70s, and I fell head over heels in love with him, and never got over him, and couldn't understand, like, I mean, I was what, 16, 17, here I'm 60, almost 62, and for that many years I wasn't able to like really let go of him. And again, you know, I mean, he kept coming up. He wouldn't come up all the time, but like every so often he would come up, and I would wonder, why did I lose him? What happened in that relationship? And recently something happened, and I was thinking about him, and I went on his Facebook page and I saw something. And yes, I've kind of stalked him a little bit from time to time on Facebook. I know, bad. But it was good because the last time that I went on his Facebook page, I saw something that I needed to see. And I won't go into details, but it, like, wow, it was there. The thing that I saw, it was like the healing element that I needed. It was that one thing that I needed to see to finally get me over that threshold, or whatever it was that was holding me back all that time. And so if I were to see this card in a reading for myself in regards to this guy, it would be in reverse, because I finally got it. But what I'm saying here is, like, in this particular case, I got it. In some cases, it depends. Depends on the reading, what you're looking at, because in some cases you may look at it and be in it in reverse, and you may say, well, there's still something that you're not healing from. You've got to go back, and this scenario is going to keep coming back to you over and over again until you do get it. So that was a personal experience for myself, is that I finally got it, and I don't need to go back to his Facebook page. I don't need to wonder anymore, like, what happened? Why did we split up? I don't need to do that, because I understand it now. I got it. And I was like, wow, I wish him well. Everything is good. So I just wanted to say that, because that's really what the Six of Cups is all about. So let's go to the Six of Pentacles. You know, the Pentacles, money, you know, here the scales are balanced. Everything is good. Things have been cloudy, but look at the clouds pulling away. Everything's looking really good. And you've got everything you need, you know. But when it's in reverse, when I see this in reverse, I think the root chakra. The root chakra is out of balance, because when the Six of Pentacles comes up, it's like they're feeling like they don't have enough of something. They're feeling that the scales are not balanced. It's poor, pitiful me. I don't have this. I don't have that. You know, look at what everybody else has and I don't have. That's what this card indicates, is that they're feeling like a lot of insecurities of not having enough of something. Could it be money, food? I don't know. But that's what that card reveals to me. The Six of Wands in reverse. Again, Wands is about work. And you see you have this this team of people, like you're the leader here, or whoever it is you're reading for, they're the leader here, and you've made some accomplishments. But when it's in reverse, things are still cloudy. You're not ready to stop working. You're not even ready to stop and take a little time to go have a beer and celebrate, what you've accomplished. There is more work to be done, and whatever it is that you're working on, you may have to go back to the drawing board, because it's not there. It's not working. So no time to be victorious, no time to take a beer break or coffee break, whatever. You got to keep working. The Six of Swords. Now, swords, remember, and I say this all through all my videos, what they mean. Swords is about working through some sort of conflict. In this case, the Six of Swords, she's getting over it. It's upright. She's getting over it, and she's starting to move on. The clear water, she's going towards the full moon back there. She's rowing towards that, even though she's still ashamed and doesn't really want to admit her guilt or whatever it is that she's feeling, but she's willing to start working on it and moving forward. Well, with it being in reverse, she ain't there. She's not ready. She's not ready to let it go. She's still resisting. She's still fighting. And, it's a conflict. So she's not letting go of whatever this conflict is. She's not even ready to look at, to try to find clarity, And when I see that, I always think of somebody just like curled up, like in fetal position in a bed somewhere, and just not ready to deal with the world just yet, because they're just, the pain is so bad. And that's what I see when I see this card in reverse. She's just not, she's totally resisting any kind of healing, anything that's coming her way to try to help her, any clarity or anything. It's trying to come their way to try to help heal the situation. So there you have it. If you have any questions, just let me know. And we're going to get on with, that was 6, so we'll do 7 and 8 in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.